What is up, midnight tokers, afternoon inhalers, and AM hookah smokers? This is the AM Hookah Podcast. How is everybody doing? It feels like it's been a hot minute. I know it's only been a week, but for some reason, I have this weird feeling that it feels like it's been a little bit longer. I guess it's just because I'm really excited to be here. We have the crew here, as always. Akeem, the original superfan. Kenneth is here. It's been far too long, Kenneth. And then, of course, we have Hookah Fiend. But as always, joining me, mainly because he has to. But my wonderful co-host, Adrian, is here as well. Adrian, how are you doing? How is your holiday weekend treating you?
Well, most Mondays I'm doing pretty good because we're doing the podcast. But now I'm doing especially good because I woke up at noon and did absolutely nothing all day. Yeah. And now I'm doing this. So I'm really, really good. How about you, Matt?
That's a good way to start it. I woke up a little bit earlier for myself. My children would not let me sleep until noon for some reason. I don't know why. They demand that they get fed for whatever reason. What is up, John? Little John, he is here as well. I went to the zoo today. I drove all the way to another city that was kind of close to me, about an hour away. Went to the zoo with my kids, showed them a bunch of animals. It was absolutely fantastic. We saw some bears. Oh, my goodness. Bears are cool. It was not – so – when you think zoo, right, you think like exotic animals. You think like, lions and tigers and all sorts of crazy stuff, right? This zoo was only a zoo that was native to Idaho animals. So we didn't get to see anything crazy. Like literally in one of the exhibits, it was like, there's a dove. I saw a locked in captivity dove. That's what I got to see.
Humans are assholes, huh? We take these birds and we like, let's put that in a cage.
Yeah, right?
Cheers.
Already, I was talking to my daughter a little bit about it. Like, this is, people don't like zoos. And she's like, why? I was like, because we cage them up. And like some of these animals are in like really small cages. So like you do like start to feel a little bit bad for them. I'm not going to lie. It's not the nicest thing that's being done to them, it feels like. But we had a fun time. My kids like seeing all the animals and stuff. So it's whatever. Did you do any like barbecues or anything crazy did you celebrate Labor Day at all? Like, do you do this normally?
Not so much. 3-day weekends for me are just long work weekends normally. So that's what I did. I mostly relaxed today, which was good. And the nice thing about the 3-day weekend is now I only have a 4-day work week. But no, nothing super fun. I did have a bunch of junk food this weekend. I guess you can call that kind of celebrating.
Living dangerously, junk food, my God.
That's right.
We had Popeyes for like the first time, so that's my exciting food story. So we got some cool news for today's episode. We're going to be talking about traditional hookahs, the definition of them a little bit, and just going like a deep dive into traditional hookahs. Me and Adrian, obviously, both big fans of traditional hookahs, so we'll take some time and talk about those. But thanks to our wonderful friend Badia from Fakhamah, he's actually giving us some tobacco to give away to you guys. It is the brand new Midnight line, which is actually not available for purchase at the moment. So this is like unreleased tobacco. So if you want to be a part of the Cool Kids Club and get yourself some stuff that nobody else can get to, this is the episode to be watching. We've already given away, Adrian, 250 grams of this tobacco.
Yeah, I was in the other room when you did that. That was fast. Who won that anyway?
So I decided, because we have 5 to give away, the very first person to chime in the chat was going to win the very first 250 grams, and that was Akeem, the original superfan. He got himself 250 grams of the Midnight line. What is up, Sid? So nice to see you as well. I'm going to be messaging Akeem a little bit later, finding out what flavor he wants exactly, and then we will get that sent off to him. But huge thanks to Badia and Fakhamah, obviously, because they're the reason why this is happening. So thank you, Fakhamah. We really do appreciate it a ton, obviously. But we're going to be giving away 4 more. And I think the way we're going to do that is probably the random number picker, because I think that's an easy way to do it. I haven't thought of a really good way to do it besides that. I think we'll also do it for a call-in as well. So we'll maybe do 3 random picks, and then whoever gives us the first call-in will also score themselves 250 grams. How's that sound to you, Adrian?
That sounds really good. It'd be like really cheeky if you did like, the third caller, because you have radio background. That'd be cheeky.
That is exactly.
That sounds good. Let's do it like that. Sorry for the impromptu making up of how to give these away. We were only planning to give away 3, but Badia, he just rolls in the chat. He's got some like ninja algorithm that tells him, and he automatically opens a podcast when we say the word Fakhamah. He pops in and he's like, you know what? 2 more.
Yeah, exactly. It was very, very nice of him. John Littlejohn says, I got in late to my vocabulary Labor Day shift, so that was good. I also seem to have a cold. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, John Littlejohn. Hopefully you're smoking something that is relaxing and not anything that is going to be harsh against your throat. Yes, Sid, it is very nice to see you again. It's been far too long, I feel. What are some flavors in the new line that they have? I think we can touch on that a little bit. So I have tried 2 of the flavors in my own personal home. I also tried a couple when I was at the expo. But Adrian, which are the flavors that have you tried from the Midnight line from Fakhamah?
I've had the Awakening, which is kind of a dark coffee flavor. And what's interesting about the Awakening, I haven't done a review on it yet, but I have the clearance too now, so I'm going to. But the Cliff Notes are, it's a coffee flavor, but since Fakhamah is a really kind of a dark leaf tobacco, it's got tobacco notes. That's something you need to be prepared for if you're going to smoke this stuff. If you're a seasoned smoker, you probably like something like that if you smoke Tangiers. This is even a level above the Tangier tobacco notes, in my opinion. But since coffee flavors are already so dark, it's just this really nice dark smoke. Very good in the morning if you can handle a dark leaf in the morning. And then there's the Phenomenon, which I haven't been able to pinpoint, but I'm guessing. At first I was like, this is citrus. But the more I smoked it and compared it to stuff, I'm like, this could just be guava.
It is.
I'm not sure. It's guava, so it's guava.
Yeah, it's the guava.
And it's a guava flavor. And it's one of those things where there's still so much of that tobacco flavor in there that it can be difficult to ascertain exactly what the flavor is. But everything I've tried from Midnight so far has been super awesome.
Yeah, the Phenomenon is one of my favorites. I really dig that one. That's the one that I got as well. And then the other one that I got was actually the Ripe Reaction. And Ripe Reaction is the citrus one. And I really like it. And the reason why I like it a lot is because if you are a whiskey drinker, which I think you are, aren't you, Adrian? Do you like whiskey?
If it has alcohol in it, I'm going to pound it.
So if anybody is a whiskey drinker, it's really good because it reminds me a ton of a whiskey sour. I kid you not. Like, you know, these citrus bitter notes that they put inside of a whiskey sour? That is exactly what this tastes like to me. It's not a pure citrus grapefruit or a citrus orange. It's like a lot of that melody of the citrus notes, and then the dark leaf in it as well causes it to have this very kind of bitter taste to it, and the bitter taste is very reminiscent of a whiskey sour or, you know, just a sweet and sour mix in whiskey and stuff. So, like, it's an old-fashioned in my book, and I think that's really good. John Littlejohn is smoking the 360 chili power. That does not sound like something that if I had a cold, I would want to put chili on my throat. That sounds a little intense, John. How is that smoking? Is it chili as in like spicy? Is it chili as in like cinnamon? What is it exactly? Cameron says, can I has some Fakhamah? Anyone that uses that kind of grammar is a friend of mine, obviously, because I don't know how grammar works. So we'll see if we can't get you some Fakhamah dark leaf. I needs it, is what he says. Wonderful grammar. Wonderful. Are you guys smoking in the chat? What are you guys smoking in the chat? If you are, please let us know. If you're about to start smoking, let us know what you're going to be smoking. But let's go ahead and get into our setups. Adrian, what are you smoking? I saw you drop a review. Is that what you're smoking, possibly?
It's not. Okay. I'm not smoking orange mint, but that is the review that got dropped today. It was recorded a while ago, but I finally got around to dropping it. And what I'm smoking today is I've kind of been on the Starbuzz Atlantis for some reason. I've just been really enjoying the draw on this thing. It's a stellar hookah if you can get over the fact that the paint erodes on the actual bottom of the heart of the hookah, something to keep aware of. But it is the Starbuzz Atlantis Thunder Dark Hose V2, one of my favorite hoses. I need to pick up 10 more of these. And on top, I've got the Hookah John the 80 Feet Resurrection, 3 titanium flats on top. And I've got this weird pack. The bottom layer is Alfaker Mint, and the top layer is Nakla Double Apple. Ooh. It is overpacked, and it is wonderful.
Overpack is such an interesting pack method, especially with something like Double Apple, because you're basically trying to sear that top layer, right? Like, that's the idea of the overpack. It's like we're going to cook off the top layer and then let all the heat transfer throughout the bowl, basically.
And Nakla's a really good brand to do that with. Nakla you can sear Nakla, and it's not washed, and it's very it's full of like sticks and twigs and branches. So the way it burns when it actually gets too hot, I like to smoke hot. So when you overheat Nakla, instead of getting nasty and like really throat itchy, it gets like really potent and kind of dense. And I like that about
very nice
Double Apple.
Very, very nice.
What about you, Matt?
I am actually smoking out of my like smoke. I know we're talking about traditional hookahs today, and I was actually going to point out an interesting thought about your Starbuzz, is it's very reminiscent of a traditional style hookah. So we'll have to get into that at least a little bit. But mine is a light smoke. It's obviously a Russian pipe. It's very modern in the way it looks and also the way that it functions and stuff. But I'm smoking some Fakhamah dark leaf of the Midnight line, that ripe reaction that I was just talking about. I mixed it with the blonde leaf of the Mountain Breeze, and then I also put in the same thing that Kenneth is actually smoking right now. I put in some Fakhamah grapefruit, but I put in the grapefruit iced tea. Kenneth, are you smoking pure grapefruit, or are you smoking grapefruit iced tea? I'd love to hear about that. Sid says that he is smoking a German unbranded frozen apple, Alfacher guava, and Alfacher mint. That sounds interesting. Hookah Fiend is smoking trifecta, the twist. John Littlejohn, let us know what that chili power is. Listen to this. What do you think about this mixture right here? He is smoking, it is a melon, spice, and mint. How does that sound to you?
Spiced melon is a thing. That's something people consume, especially like spiced cantaloupe. I don't know that, I don't think that translates in like normal food, but it's a flavor profile that I've seen pop up before. And with mint, I could see it. I mean, as long as the ratios are correct and it's not too sweet, as long as the melon's kind of like the afterthought, I think that could be a super good flavor. It
sounds interesting for sure. Kenneth is saying that he's smoking the pure grapefruit, which is very good. Grapefruit mint is also a very good one. Grapefruit, the ice grapefruit mint is also very good as well, if you ever get your hands on that. Raul says that he is loading Midnight Fallen Dragon with a dash of cane. I think that's how you're supposed to do anything with cane, is just a dash of cane. Kind of like
load it up.
Dashing Cody Rhodes. Oh, that should be a thing, Raul. We should figure out a mix involving wrestler names. That's what we need to work on, Raul.
Man, I'm still here.
The Hookahologist says that, did I miss the raffle? No, you did not miss the raffle. In fact, let's go ahead and do a raffle real quick. How does that sound, Adrian?
Yeah,
Are you ready?
I like giving stuff away.
Awesome. So let's do a random number picker. This is going to be 1 to 15. 1 to 15. Just drop a number down below, 1 to 15, and then I'll do a random number picker, and we'll see if you can score yourself. We have 4 of them to give away, so even after this one, you still have 3 other chances to be able to grab some as well. John Littlejohn says, pretty perfect for me. They pointed to me that as a result of my star sign, and I liked it, the mint is pretty subtle, mostly the spiced melon. So if you did not know, the 360 brand has this Cosmo line, right? And the Cosmo line, it has everybody's like, what is it called? You know, the astrology, is that what it's called? Astrology, whatever?
Yep.
Yeah, so the astrology is basically what is inside of it, and it allows it to you can pick by, like, I'm a Libra, so I could pick like the Libra flavor, which I thought I saw what it was, and it was something I didn't even want to taste. So I don't know. Maybe some people it works for. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and spin this random number generator. We're going to cut it off. Oh, Hookahologist, you can't pick more than one number, my friend. You can't do that. Pipe Dream, get out of the chat. You can't do this, Pipe Dream Hookah. Get out of here. Hookahologist, he picked another number because Cameron did 11. I see that now. Okay, so we have enough. It's going to end at the Pipe Dream number of 14. Adrian, did you vote? No, he did not. He did not. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to spin the wheel right now. The last number, the cutoff number, is Hookahologist number 13. That is the cutoff number. So I'm going to go ahead and spin it, and the winning number is 11. And the first person to have picked 11, I believe, was Cameron. That is correct. Cameron, you are the winner of 250 grams of Fakhamah Midnight Line. They have many, many flavors. We only touched on a few. They also have Meticulous Mint. They also have Fallen Dragon. They also have, man, I wish I could think of some of the names off the top of my head, but it's been a little while since I've seen the full listing. Can you think of some of the other names real quick, Adrian?
Let me see. The Awakening, the Phenomenon, Fallen Dragon, that Mint. There's that one you have. What is that called?
Ripe Reaction?
Ripe Reaction. There's like a citrus flavor.
Ripe Reaction, I think, is the citrus one. I think so,
then
but I could be wrong.
It's something Paul has that he's been talking about, and I cannot remember the name.
Okay.
Honestly, I've only tried 2 flavors because we got that good extra pre-release freaking 4 months ago.
Yeah, we've been smoking it for a little while. It's very good stuff. What is up, Chris? So nice to see you. We actually watched some professional wrestling the other night on Rabbit with our good friend Dr. Noob Sauce. Adrian instantly getting pissed off. He's just like, why we got to talk about fucking professional wrestling again? I swear to God. Chris jumped in for just a second, and then he had to jump out again. But it's so nice to see you here, as always, Mr. Chris. Send him Meticulous Mint is what Raul says. That will be his choice, Raul. You can't tell him how to live his life. He will do what he does, okay? We will have 3 more chances to give away some Fakhamah Midnight Line. But let's go ahead and get back into the show as regular. The next thing I wanted to do is actually ask our question of the show. I thought this was an interesting question to poise. We're going to answer this, obviously, at the end of the show for our very last talking point. Also, we will be asking this to the callers as well when we do get the call-ins. The question of today's show, what is your definition of a traditional hookah? And I feel like this is an interesting question for one of the reasons that I brought up about your Starbuzz hookah, because it is reminiscent of a traditional hookah, obviously, but it's not technically, right?
The only difference between this and a traditional hookah, this anatomically is a traditional hookah. It's one piece, down stem, everything. You got your purge valve, which is behind, a regular hose port, and your bowl port. Tray that is disconnected. It's not fitted. So that's very textbook traditional. The biggest difference is this is a machined hookah.
Yes.
So you see 2 things with that. You see an increase in overall like objective quality of the pipe, but I think you see a decrease in like, I don't know, soul, I guess is the best way to put it. Like you can really tell when some guy was sitting cross-legged in like a factory with sandpaper banging out a pipe with like a ball peen hammer. Those things turn out badass.
Yeah.
They can. That's how they make those in Chicas. So there's a reason to have both. But this is like a traditional modern hookah, I guess is what you could call it.
We're getting nailed by the cactus, obviously, from Etch Games. I don't know why
What's going on,
people
Caleb?
do that. I don't know why people do that. It's funny because somebody offered to send Cameron mint, and Mint actually hates mint. Cameron hates mint with a passion. Absolute passion. We had a good conversation about it recently, actually. I get where he comes from. I understand what he's saying for it. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the new videos that we had come out. You did post a video. So let's talk about that a little bit. You added to your Alfaker series, and it is now a full 12 videos in?
12 videos in, yep. And I wanted to be more. I had some issues with my editing machine recently that I've finally cleared up. So now I've got some more videos to come out. I'm a little backlogged, thankfully, so I can just start uploading videos that I have edited. But this one was on Alfaker's Orange Mint. It's just a return to form for the Alfaker series. Nothing really special. If you've ever had Alfaker's Orange Mint, you don't need to check the video out. When I make the Alfaker series, it's much less about like posting everywhere, hey, look at this new review I have out. And it's more about just like putting out a video that when someone turns 18 and wants to start smoking, they can go, oh, what's Alfaker Mint like? Let's Google it, and that video pops up.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a playlist video, right?
Bingo.
Would you say
it's
that?
Very shocking.
Would you say that Orange Mint is one of the? I would say. I mean, would you consider it a classic Alfaker flavor? Is that one of the classics?
It's in the big 5 for sure.
Okay.
Like double apple, blueberry mint, grapefruit mint, and orange mint are probably like the big 5 Alfaker flavors I continue to just go back to every time.
Yes, very much so. Alfaker obviously been around for a long time. A lot of us have been smoking it for a long time. A lot of us leave Alfaker and then go back to it at some point in our smoking careers as well. It's one of those, it's a standby. It's something that is never going to be bad. It's maybe never going to be amazing, but it is going to always be good, I think is something about Alfaker, obviously. I, as well, dropped a video this today, actually. I dropped it today. I think you dropped yours as well today.
This morning, yeah.
Yeah, mine was for Azure Cosmos. That's what I dropped it for. Azure Cosmos is a very interesting flavor to me because please go and check out the review, obviously. Same thing with Adrian. I know he wants to keep it in a playlist to live forever, but go and watch it right away. I like Azure Cosmos in the golden line, the blonde leaf variation of it. It is a grapefruit mixed with raspberry, and when you hear those two names, you instantly start to smell the grapefruit and the raspberry inside of it. My wife actually told me something funny because she's in the medical field, and when she smelled it, she's like, this smells like the raspberry laughing gas. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
That's horrifying.
Hopefully it doesn't like numb me to unable to taste anything, but it didn't. It didn't at all.
How cool would that be, though? Like a shisha, and when you smoke it, it just like laughing gas numbs your whole shit. You get a little loopy.
You could mix something in there that could maybe cause that to happen. I don't know if it's legal, but you could do
arsenic.
Yeah, don't do that. No, don't do that. Wait a minute. Hold on. No.
Don't actually do
Wait a second. So I dropped it on Cosmos. To me, though, it smells like a gummy that I used to buy a whole bunch at the gas station, and I'm on a mission at this point. I am on a mission to go to the gas station, buy all the gummies that I can see, and figure out which one of them it reminds me of, because I swear to you, I'm not crazy. it smells like a gummy to me, and it kind of tastes like it too. I just got to figure out which one it is. It's reminiscent of like a gummy bear, in my opinion. Some people have called me out on that. Some people have threatened to have me put into an institution over it. But I'm going to stand by what I believe in. So I'm going to figure this out as soon as I possibly can. Adrian, how'd you like to give away some more tobacco?
Hey, do you guys want more free tobacco?
Would you guys like me to give away some more tobacco? Do you want to win some Fakhamah Midnight Line? Here we go again.
If you don't want it, we don't have to.
No, yeah, we don't. I mean, yeah. I would be okay with it. I'd be fine.
But, I mean, I would say the same thing that we just did, starting right now.
All right, so 1 to 15.
1 and 15.
1 and 15. Pick your number 1 to 15, starting right now. Once we get those numbers in, then I will go ahead and spin the wheel, and we will figure out who's going to win. Cameron, don't do it again. You already have some. Akeem, don't do it again. You already have some. We want to make sure that we give all these 5 to 5 different people so they can really enjoy this wonderful line of tobacco that I think you guys are going to definitely enjoy. Once again, it is not actually available to be purchased at the moment, so all you have to do is win it here, and then you're a part of the Cool Kids Club, and you have some unreleased tobacco. We just need some numbers to come through, 1 through 15. We got a bunch of... Rose F. Death is here. Man, it's so nice to see you. As always, good friend of mine from Twitter. I absolutely love it. My wife just showed up. Hello, honey. How are you doing?
Hi, Bridget.
Hope everything is going good. Akeem, I do nothing. Cameron, damn. Let's see. We got some numbers coming through. Yeah, the 2 does not count. The 2 does not count. Etch Games, you've already tried the Midnight Line. Sorry, bud. You're not going to be winning either. Also, Raul, sorry. You've tried it as well. You're not going to be winning this. We're getting new people to enjoy it.
Just so everyone knows, this is a really good time to come in because there's 5 opportunities. And we knew we didn't really push this episode because it's Labor Day. We didn't figure everyone would be available to. So this is a really good time to like try to ninja yourself some Fakhamah Midnight.
Yeah, we're going to do this one more time after this time, and then the next winner is actually going to be on the phone call. So the first person to give us a phone call is going to win it as well. So if you miss your opportunity, you got one more chance, and then you also got a phone call as well, 1 through 15. I think we have some numbers in. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel, see who's going to win it. The very last person was Kenneth with number 5. Kenneth with number 5 was the very last one. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. The wheel is saying 15. Did anybody pick 15?
Let's have a look.
It does not look like it. Let's spin it again.
Get at her.
Let's spin it again. 1. Did anybody pick 1?
Incorrect.
Okay, we're going to spin it again. 12. Did somebody pick
Rose of Death?
Rose F. Death. You are the winner. I will be messaging you a little bit later. This is a dark leaf tobacco. Rose F. Death is somebody that we actually almost dedicated an entire show to on season 1. Do you remember that, Adrian? Yeah, our how-to hookah that we did for season 1, basically. He had just started smoking hookah, actually, because he started listening to the podcast, and he had some questions, so we thought we'd do an episode a little bit gauged towards newer smokers and stuff like that. So congratulations, Rose F. Death. I will be contacting you. This is a dark leaf tobacco, so you may want to be careful if you know what I'm talking about. Just slow down, slow down.
If you have a Provost, use it.
Yeah.
That would be my recommendation.
Excuse me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to the show. I got to pull my notes up. I have my random number generator and my notes on both sides, basically. So let's go ahead and get into our topic of today's show a little bit. We're going to be talking about traditional hookahs, and I was interested in doing this because it's been a while since we've kind of gone back to basics. It's been a while since me and Adrian, we've had a show, just me and you. Interesting. This is our very first show of season 2 of just me and you, believe it or not.
Yep. We had a lot of guests, a lot of cool guys. Who do we have?
Oh my God.
Zach kicked off the season. Do we have Body on this season? No,
not yet. Not yet.
I think we're planning to. I think we might.
Oh yeah. For sure.
It's Kyle Smith, Brandon George,
Rob,
Tommy,
Dude, Where's My Hookah?
Rob, Dude, Where's My Hookah? Yeah, we had a myriad of guests.
Yeah, we really have, and it's been a blast. But I'm happy to. And then obviously I did the show from. Oh no, we did the drunk cast. That was just me and you on the drunk. But does that really count? Does it count?
I don't know. Was that from this season?
That was actually. It's just hard to remember.
Weird.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and get into traditional hookahs. I want to know if you guys in the chat actually have any traditional hookahs. Do you have a Shika? Do you have a KM? Do you have a Frida? Is it pronounced Frida or Frida? How is it pronounced? I have no idea.
I don't know. I've never actually owned one.
Me neither. I do know that Zach, I believe, from Strictly Shisha, has a couple of those hookahs, and he's done some. I don't know if he's ever done a video on it, but I know that he has talked about them before.
The
So
real OGs probably have some Narwas. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Those badass hookahs.
Yeah, and Etch Gaming actually knows quite a bit about NARS as well. And then also Cameron says, where's my invite? Cameron, you're on number 13. Remember, we already discussed this. You're going to be the guest on episode number 13. That's up to you to start plugging away so that people know to tune in on episode number 13. We're going to be talking to the Resin King himself about his handles and all sorts of more stuff. So make sure you tune in for that. John Littlejohn says that I have a KM and a Sheikah. That's very cool. Narwhals are trash is what Cameron says. Man, that sounds like fighting words right there. Rose F. Death says, if you are too drunk to remember, it doesn't count.
Adds up.
Yeah, that makes sense. That logic. That makes sense. All right. So the very first thing I want to talk about when it comes to traditional hookahs is it an old hookah or is it how it's made? What are your thoughts about that? Is because we just talked about the Starbuzz very briefly, obviously, but because obviously all the new KM hookahs are not old hookahs anymore. They're made in today, and obviously. So is it just based upon how they're made, or is it a little bit about the fact that how old the hookah is as well? Where do you stand on that?
For me, it has more to do with how they actually produce the hookah. When I get a traditional hookah, I'm almost expecting it to be made by somebody, as opposed to machined. That's like the biggest thing I look for when I'm trying to define, is this a traditional hookah or is this maybe a modern hookah? Mm-hmm. And obviously Sheikah has their electroplated hookahs, which are still handmade, but they have this modern look to them.
Yeah.
But I would still consider those traditional, even though we just got a new model of the Sheikah Dual Legend out. That purple one, I don't know if you saw that. That thing looks amazing.
I did. It's a Hookah-Shisha exclusive, I believe. John Littlejohn, if you could correct me on that. It was from a long time ago. I guess they did a contest based around Pokemon Go or something. I have no idea anymore. Somebody in one of the groups actually said that it looked like an Undertaker hookah, and I agree with that. Going back to some wrestling talk right there. It is a taker. It is the Undertaker. And then I tried to say, where's my DX hookah? And someone said, look at the carbine. I said, I will never look at the carbine again, ever. Just kidding about that. The draw is Capri Sun Straw is what somebody just said. I have a custom tea hookah, and I don't know what it is. Tea hookah. I don't know what you mean by that.
Traditional.
Okay.
Traditional.
My mistake. He's just not sure what the actual branding is on it. I gotcha. Thank you for clearing that up for me, Adrian. Obviously, Etch Game says no NARS or no life. So I am going to agree with you. I think it's kind of like a traditional hookah is made by the traditional hookah makers. It can even be a modern hookah if it's made by the traditional hookah makers. I think it still kind of stands as a traditional hookah. I think it's a lot more style than it is purely being an old hookah, though there are some old hookahs that are obviously traditional hookahs. I've always wanted to get a Indian-style hookah. I've never, ever owned an Indian-style hookah, and I've always wanted one of those. Something that sits flat on the vase, and then it has like a hose that's just like coming out of it, basically. I've always thought that was really cool. Kenneth says that he's going to actually send me a pic. I'd love to see it. I think that'd be really cool to kind of see if we can figure out what it is exactly. John Littlejohn says traditional, I would say maybe 1 to 3 metals, handmade, natural metal finish instead of paint, or an extended hose port rather than a Regal style hose port. Those all sound like pretty good reasons to make it a traditional style hookah. So KM has always kind of stuck with their old school looking hookah. So I actually have some KMs right here that I was going to pull out so we can show them off. I don't know if you have any of your KMs on standby. This is the single. This is the single black pair, 3 hose port. Look at that. It's just beautiful. Obviously, it's so classic in the way that it's made. There you go. Just everything about it. My little bell part on the bottom part actually fell off. It's no longer with it no more. And it is not really smokable anymore. This thing has died. If you can see right there, it's actually leaking. I haven't used this pipe in a long time, and it is still leaking stuff. It is... Oh, what is up, Bilu? So nice to see you. Bilu, what kind of hookahs do you have, my friend? I'd love to hear what you have in your collection. We're talking about traditional hookahs today, but if you have moderns, that's fine. We're both smoking out of modern hookahs, obviously. So... this, as much as I love it, I don't use it anymore for that reason. It's just not really a usable hookah, sadly. Do you have any traditional hookahs in your collection that you just don't use anymore?
Not really. The thing about, and I guess going to the next question, which would be, what do we own? The only traditional hookah I actually own right now that I would consider an actual traditional hookah is the KM Ferroni Oxide. Super solid hookah. It is ghosted with PON right now. Oh, and when I say right now, I mean indefinitely. You can't get PON out of a hookah once you smoke some PON through the hookah. So that's what it's doing now. I've owned 4 or 5 kms, but kms are so accessible and so cheap that I find myself usually just gifting off my kms after a month or two of use to other people I know that smoke that still have Chinese pumpkin hookahs or some type of garbage, whatever they're smoking on. I'll just be like,
Yes.
look, here's a KM. Like, you can spend like $50 and get a super solid like tri-metal. So that's what I usually do. I'll pick one of those up, use it for a while, and then be like, I'm done. Here you go.
Traditional KM hookahs especially are very well priced. Sheikah hookahs are pretty well priced too. The Fridas are a little bit more expensive. The Narwhals are not able to get anymore, so they always go up in price. Let's see. Bilu says, Mia, that's what I use a lot. I got a KM Apple. That's actually a better pipe, and I use it for travel. I'm looking for a new pipe now. Oh, this is interesting because this is the traditional show, so it's something we can suggest as a pipe that you can get into if you're looking for something classic. I love the look of the black pear. I absolutely adore this hookah. They have the two parrot ones as well, which is about double the size. I'm not a big fan.
And triple pairs. They do have triple pairs.
Those are huge. Those are humongous. I think the double pair is too big, actually. I think single pair is exactly what it needs to be for size, in my opinion. I just got a picture sent to me. Oops, I don't want to do that. I just showed everybody my Facebook page, basically. I need to open up a new tab. Can you vamp for just a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going to start answering the next question we have for the show, and that is going to be like, what would we want for like our next traditional hookah? And I feel like this goes pretty well with B. Lou not having a ton of hookahs, not a lot of traditional hookahs. So if you're looking to pick one up, I would honestly recommend getting a Sheikah. The Sheikahs are usually sold as a full setup with a hose, a Sheikah Oblivion bowl, and I have no clue what Matt's doing on that screen.
Yeah, it just disappeared for a second. He'll be back, I promise.
Very good. And so those Sheikahs are very good. And if you want to spend like $120 for a really nice full setup, that's what I do. I think that's going to be my next traditional pickup. Mm-hmm. And then another traditional hookah I really would like is an Omar Violin oxidized chiller. I think they're pretty hard to get at this point. I don't know if they're still making them, but one of the reviewers I first started watching when I started smoking hookah, J-Nuck over from Hookah, that was the hookah he always used in his reviews, and that thing looks absolutely gorgeous. Are you familiar with that hookah, Matt?
If I watch some of his videos, I'm sure I'd remember it. It's just something that's not popping in my head right now.
It's kind of a shorter black oxidized chiller hookah made by a company called Omar. I'm not really sure if they're still around or not, but I want to get my hands on one. If I can find one, I'll probably pick it up on site.
Okay, I'm throwing up this picture of the hookah that Kenneth just showed me. I want to see if anybody can isolate what this is. This is a beautiful hookah. It looks Syrian to me. This looks like a Syrian hookah. Very old, I would imagine, unless it's like a newer made one. But because of the way that the tray is, yeah, the tray is what's telling me Syrian, and also the hose port and the purge port, and then the very blocky parts to it as well. That looks very Syrian.
Very Syrian.
So I'm not sure what the Syrian brands are. Is Narwa a Syrian brand?
I believe that is the case.
Etch, can you tell us if this pipe looks familiar to you at all? I know you're the Narwa guy, but this is pretty cool, man. This is very, very cool.
It looks like a quality pipe. That's one of those pipes you can tell some dude used a mallet and bang that thing in a shake, That's honestly an incredible thing, and I really hope we continue to see that moving forward. I don't know how many guys over in the Middle East and Egypt are learning that craft. I know it's a lot of old dudes working for KM right now that make those. I really hope that we continue to see more new models of old-style hookahs in the future.
Edge is saying that's not Syrian. He's saying that it's not a Syrian hookah. I wonder what it is. I wonder who else we could... Oh, you know what? That might be a KM. That might be the KM, what's it called? Something wheat hookah. Is there a chance that's a KM? Is it a Kamanja?
Double wheat. That could be like a double wheat. I don't think it's a Kamanja.
No, not a Kamanja. I was thinking something else. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm a little taken from this, actually.
The tray is stellar.
Yes.
I think we've gotten way too into having these like dinner plate trays, which are a little bit less effective than like the you ever seen the HJ Cereal Inspiration tray? Yes. That's literally just a cereal bowl with like a hole in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. So Kenneth is saying that it's old as hell. So I wonder what it is. We're going to have to pass that picture around and see if we can't figure out what it is. Kenneth, we will need to do some research and do some Batman detective work and figure out what this is exactly, because that's a cool looking pipe. That is a very, very cool look. It's heavy, by the way, which it's not a... No, I was wrong when I said Kamanja. That was my mistake. Sorry about that. It is definitely not a Kamanja. So another pipe that I'm going to show off real quick. This, I know Adrian knows what this is right here.
Figaro's Oxide.
No, yeah, for those Ferroni. Yes, this is the Ferroni hookah. I love this pipe so much. I almost smoked it, but it is so restrictive in comparison to like all my new stuff that I have.
Was that oxidized when you got it?
No, this has always been copper right here. This has always been this copper look.
I got mine in like a black oxidization. Really cool.
Yes.
I've since rubbed it off because you know how washing hookahs goes.
Yes, exactly. This actually used to be really dirty, and I actually took some. I didn't use ketchup. I used salt, and I used a scrub pad, and I just went to town on it and made it shine again. I love the way that the Ferroni looks like. It is absolutely fantastic. It smokes a little bit more restricted than what you'd expect. The hose port on the inside of it is actually really tapered down right here. So I've always thought about getting like a drill bit and just kind of going through it and really clearing it out to make it an open draw. But it is a very nice, it's pretty, it's beautiful. It has a copper downstem on it. Oh man, I love the Ferroni. Very, very cool hookah that I own in my collection. Something that I don't use enough of, in my opinion. Okay, so going back to, I got to get rid of this picture window real quick. What do you want? Is there any traditional hookahs that you still want that are out on the market? Also, Bilu said that he's looking for a traditional hookah, I should mention as well.
Yeah, that's actually, when you told me to riff, I was talking about the Omar Violin Oxidized Chiller is one that I really want. I would like to get a Sheikah Dual Legend electric plated hookah. Those are really neat. And I am a bit of a collector. Provided this is going to cost some money, so I'm probably going to think about it for a while. But a Narwhals are really nice, like probably the nicest one I can find.
Yeah.
And they are expensive right now. But I'd love to get one of those, put it on like, be completely trash, put it on a boho, and just like never smoke out of it. Use it as a giant paperweight.
I got to check out my Facebook messages again, and I don't know if I have another tab open, so everything's going to be weird for just a moment. Okay, I got it. I got it figured out. Let me see what's going on. Little John told me to check my messages. I'm doing it. I'm trying to figure this all out on the fly. Bum, 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 bum. John sent me a picture. Oh, my gosh. Hold on a second. Oh, vamp for just a moment. Oh, this is beautiful.
Vamping. I have no clue what John just sent Matt, but I swear if it has anything to do with wrestling, I'm going to quit the podcast on the spot.
It's not, I promise.
It sure better not. That would be awful. Marble Narwhals. That's actually exactly what I had in mind. Actually, Caleb, maybe I'll talk to you soon about it because I'm super uneducated. All I know is they're rare and they are gorgeous. And if I understand it, they've got a more restricted draw. So maybe you could educate me a little bit on those Narwhals and tell me where I could look for them.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this, Adrian? It's going to pop up here in just a moment for you. This is a beautiful. This is the exact pipe that I want to get in my collection one day. This is a super old school traditional style hookah. This looks very. This looks super Indian inspired to me. It looks.
Oh shit! You never even smoke out of that.
Oh my god, I would love it so much. I would clean it out so I could smoke it because I want one of these for smoking reasons. What, Little John? Do you know what this is? Do you know what the name of this hookah is by any chance? Man, this is stunning. This is absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything like this before. Let me know if you guys in the comments have seen something like this. Scored this baby from Reddit is what Little John just said. Also, Little John said fuck wrestling. So I guess you got someone in your corner as well.
My man.
I'm not going to read out loud what Etch Gaming just said because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Etch says, oh my god, yes, the one Zomo had was so cool that didn't purge. I don't know what that is, actually. This won't purge.
Yo, is that guitar what I think it is, Matt?
That is it says Jasmine? I don't know what that is. No, I don't.
No, it's not what I thought it was.
What did you
I thought it was, I can't think of the name, Takamine. It's like a Japanese company
Japanese
that's
one?
a lot like Martin. I thought he was just sitting there with like a fucking stellar Japanese acoustic guitar, and I almost nerded out in my own weird way.
I mean, I think he might. Who knows? Because this right here shows that he has great taste. Obviously, this is fantastic, Little John. Thank you so much for showing it off. The hookahologist says it's beautiful. Yes, it is. Bilu, oh, I love this. Bilu just said, "Never fuck wrestling." That is the truth, Bilu. The truth. Bilu, did you watch All In?
I thought we were boys.
Bilu, did you? No, Bilu's a wrestling dude, man. He's a good man. He's a good guy.
Awful.
Bilu, did you watch All In? It was very good. I hope you did. We'll talk about it on the game stream tomorrow night. If you guys have not heard, I'm actually doing a game stream on Tuesday nights at 9:30 Mountain Standard Time, where we're going to be playing some video games. We're going to be talking about whatever comes up, including wrestling, if that's something that comes up. Got no issues doing that when Adrian is not around, obviously. Oh my gosh, this hookah though is fantastic. Thank you so much for showing it off, Little John. We appreciate it. If anybody else has some old hookahs in their collection, please send them over my way, and I would love to show them off right now. I really would.
You know what we should probably do? I can't go too far past 8:30 my time today, so we should probably give away another 250 of Fakhamah Midnight.
I like the way you think. I like the way you think. Okay, guys, real simple, real easy. Put a number inside of the chat, 1 through 15. If you've already won, don't enter again, 1 through 15, and you're going to score yourself 250 grams of Fakhamah Midnight Line, which is actually what I am smoking right now. It's very, very good. He said he didn't watch the whole thing, but did you get my? I did get your post about Ricky Steamboat. I think that will be the next person I do for my Superstar Spotlight as a special thank you to you for making that comment. Etch Games says they took you go to look for narwhals. It is a toss-up. They are all handmade, and they hit all different. All of them hit a little bit different. John wants 6. Okay, John, we get it. You are number 6. Ooh, Dude, Where's My Hookah just chimed in as well at number 13.
So did Badia.
Badia, what is up? How you doing? Did he put a number in? Okay, good. He didn't. That's very good. I'm so glad.
No, he's not a trash master like we are.
No, not like you. I didn't do nothing. That was all you, man.
Everything I do, you're responsible for.
You didn't. You used your personal account, not the AM account. Okay, so 6 is definitely John Littlejohn. We got it, John. We do. Kenneth is 9. Bopperman 24. Bopperman 24. Man, do I know you? I swear, your name sounds really familiar from like a long time ago. It's kind of crazy. Stop
He's been
it.
on the podcast.
Bopperman 24, that's awesome. Thank you for chiming in. Rob, thank you for chiming in as well. We have the numbers. Okay, I think we're done. Kenneth just said Etch Games. It is a male port. That's why I think it might be. Oh, if it's male, I would say that it's a heavy chance. It's. I don't. We got to maybe post that again. If we have Rob in here and we have Badia in here, we might want to ask them what it might be, because I think both of them may be better educated than what we are on it, and may be able to give us a little bit better idea of what this pipe might be. I'm gonna put a picture up in just a second for you guys to take a look at. Let me make it a little smaller so I can put it on my screen.
Probably also take the picture of this dope ass old school hookah off.
Okay, there we go. I didn't realize it was still being shown. Here it is. Here it is. We got the
picture
pipe.
is real big.
Yeah, I shrunk it. In. Yeah, I just shrunk it. It'll be fine in just a second. Okay.
That 10-second delay fucks me up so bad.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay, so we got the numbers. The one that Kenneth said is going to be the cutoff of it, and we're going to roll the dice. We got number 9. Did anybody pick number 9?
Kenneth.
Did Kenneth do 9?
Yeah, let me scroll up and make sure no one else did first. Yeah,
like Kenneth did. Kenneth, congratulations. You just won yourself 250 grams of Fakhamah Midnight Line tobacco. I will be messaging you later, and we will get you hooked up on that, and we'll have you pick your flavors. Once again, thank you, Badia from Fakhamah USA, for hooking us up and allowing us to give away these wonderful things, obviously. So there's a picture on the screen right now. I'm going to throw this out to Senor Rob Caro, I think is how you say his last name. Maybe I'm wrong. And also Badia, I'm going to send this out to you as well. Do you guys know what this hookah is right here? Can you let me know what you think this hookah is? Is it Syrian? Is it Egyptian? Do you have a name for it? It looks super familiar. The neck of it looks really, really familiar, and I can't think of what it is. John Littlejohn just said 6 is a 9 upside down. Don't even do that. Oh, Turkish. It's a Turkish hookah. Oh, my gosh. Why did I think Turkish? Okay, it could be a Turkish modeled in an Egyptian style. That sounds actually really familiar, actually. I think that could be right. Sorry. I was smoking a little bit. Okay, so I think it might be a Turkish hookah. Slide into my DMs whenever you want to. That sounds dirty. I
don't know why we didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I feel kind of embarrassed.
We should be.
The second he said Turkish Malport, I'm like, yeah, that adds up.
Yeah, yeah. I was so hooked on it being Syrian that nothing else entered my mind. That was my fault, personally. Let's go ahead and get rid of that image real quick. So our faces are on here again. Badia says Turkish or Syrian. Don't know the name, but that's a style I see in Syria. Oh, so maybe we are not idiots.
Badia, I'm pretty sure you've been to Syria. I trust Rob, Badia, and Caleb. But yeah, it's all speculation at this point. It's just a gorgeous hookah.
Absolutely beautiful in every possible way. Let's go ahead and get into some phone calls. How's that sound, Adrian?
Let's do that.
Okay, so the very first phone call is actually going to win themselves a 250 gram of the Fakhamah Midnight Line tobacco. So the very first one is going to score themselves some. So if you would like your chance to win the very last 250 gram that we have to give away of the Fakhamah Midnight Line, all you got to do is make that phone call. The very first caller is going to be able to get it. Have the microphone turned up for them, so we should hear them the moment they call. If you can't see the phone number, it is 319-527-3235. Just make your phone call, and you will have your chance to win your very own 250 gram tub of Fakhamah Midnight Line tobacco. And we'll also be answering our question, what is your definition of what a traditional hookah is? Rob, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We were talking about traditional hookahs for the majority of the show, and what defines a traditional hookah? One of the things that I brought up and said, actually, was the fact that Adrian is smoking out of a Starbuzz hookah that's very much in the style of a traditional style hookah, but it's not. For what reasons, Adrian?
Hi, guys.
Hey, we have somebody. Who is this?
Hello? It's the Hookah.
Oh, no, we got 2 phone calls. Let me see who is the first one to chime in. The first one, their phone number or their area code is 408. Who has a 408 area code?
No. That's me.
Who's me?
The Hookahologist.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Hookahologist Tommy? Congratulations, you've scored yourself some Fakhamah Midnight Line tobacco. Whoever is 601, please hold on the line for just a moment, and we'll get to you next. But we're going to talk to Tommy for just a minute.
Sure.
Tommy, do you have much experience with dark leaf tobacco?
I've been smoking a lot of Tangiers ever since the expo.
Very cool.
Oh, you're ready then. You're perfectly ready for this midnight stuff.
What are some of the flavors from Tangiers that you are enjoying?
Well, they make a mix for me. It's cane mint, blackberry, and something else.
Oh, okay.
I forget.
Blackberry's a good one. That's a classic flavor from Tangiers. I don't think that gets enough love, actually. So that's very cool. Tommy, I guess we'll go ahead and ask you the question. What is your definition of a traditional hookah? Now, you have mainly modern hookahs in your collection, don't you? I believe you have some mob hookahs, which is always funny to me personally because we don't think of mob hookahs anymore. I think you have some Mia hookahs as well. What is your collection looking like?
My collection is a one Sahara. That's the little white one I own. The mob hookah, the pistol, and I have the Cloud King. And then I have a flare hookah. When we used to work at a hookah lounge, my boss gave it to me. Mm-hmm. And then I broke the vase, so I just got a new one, but it doesn't fit just right.
Oh, get some duct tape.
Always.
Okay, so thank you for answering that. Do you have any questions for me or Adrian?
You know what? I'm with a customer, and we were talking about hookah. I'm like, hey, guess what? The Hookah Podcast is on. We can listen to that.
Very nice.
What's up?
So,
who's your friend? What's your friend's name? We'll give him a shout out.
Oh, they're back at the dealership. I have their car detailed right now.
All right, very cool. Well, congratulations, Mr. Detailed Car Guy. We're going to talk about you for just a moment. So no questions, I'm guessing then, Tommy?
Other than how's your guys' day going?
Oh, very nice. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it's been a very fun day. Went to the zoo with my kids and my wife, and that was a lot of fun. Overall, just a wonderful day off before I go back to work tomorrow. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
No, other than that, guys, I just wanted to say, keep smoking.
Hell
you guys make my day go by faster.
Well, congratulations, Tommy. I will slide into your DMs a little bit later, and I'll ask you what flavor you would like, and we'll get that sent off to you, okay?
Sounds like a plan. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks. Bye.
See, Hookahologist Tommy.
Okay, before we get into our next talker, I want to say what Dude Where's My Hookah, Rob just put down below. He said traditional should be handmade with brass and copper like the OG stuff. Then down to the line, stainless was used with other brands and is now a constant, with copper being an outfit for mass production. Very, very well put. Very well put. That's why I wanted him to comment on this. I knew he would put everything into one concise statement.
He's
really
articulate.
Nicely. Yes, exactly.
He's very articulate. I completely agree. Matt was saying that this is a lot like a traditional hookah, and it is. The biggest difference being that this is obviously machined and plated and painted and all that stuff. So it's not actually a traditional hookah, but this is very much inspired by the style of an actual traditional hookah. No modular pieces. It's all one solid piece. The tray is not really fitted necessarily. Mm-hmm. And, it's just a standard bowl port, hose port, and regular diffuser.
Yes. Okay, so
our purge.
We have another caller. Caller, who is this on the line right now?
Yeah, my name's Kyle.
Kyle, how you doing, man? Who is this, Mr. Kyle? Is this Kyle Smith?
No. This is a different Kyle.
Oh, your voice was very relaxing. That's why I thought maybe it was. Thank you so much for calling in, Kyle. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually Kenneth's friend. I'm over at his house right now. So.
You're
sweet.
Kenneth is trying to double up on that Fakhamah Midnight Line, isn't he? I know Kenneth. I know he's doing that.
Yeah, I was like, well, no. So we're just waiting on you to be able to answer what kind of hookah he has.
Oh. Well, the best guess that we had was a Turkish or a Syrian-style hookah. It's definitely beautiful. He said that it was very heavy. Did you guys smoke out of it very often?
We've smoked out of it a few times. And also too, I called it. I said it might be Turkish.
Very nice. You're better than us at the AM Hookah Podcast for sure already. Do you have any questions for myself or for Adrian?
No. Other caller pretty much asked it. How's the day's going?
Very nice.
Just
Thank
going
you.
Good.
Maggie is there too, I guess. Tell Maggie that I said hello. I hope she's
Hello,
enjoying her
Maggie.
MIG.
Maggie, they said hello. We're actually smoking out of the hookah at the moment. But
Oh snap!
Very nice.
What was the?
I think he's asking.
So
something.
actually, yeah, there is a question. So
Okay.
why exactly do you guys prefer traditional over modern?
Did you
Okay,
say?
yeah.
Did you say why do we prefer traditional over modern?
What do we prefer?
Oh, what do we prefer? Okay. All right.
Yeah, kind of what do you prefer, and if it is traditional, like what's your reasoning based on that?
Okay, cool. We'll answer that off of the air, obviously, real quick. But before we let you go, I want to ask you, what is your definition of a traditional hookah?
I really agree with like the made by mallet, just like made by hand, not really like in a factory or something like that. Like actually has time taken into it, you know, polished and and the fact that it has those little defects in it make it personal.
Okay. Very, very, very nice. We will now answer your question off the air. Thank you so much for calling, Kyle. Appreciate it a ton.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Bye.
Take it easy, man. Thanks for calling.
Okay. So, what do you prefer, Adrian? Traditional or modern?
It's really hard. But if I'm being completely honest, I am a little bit romantic about traditional hookahs. I think they're great, but I hold on to my modern hookahs, and I'll tend to like give away my traditional hookahs pretty quickly. That's because my traditional hookahs are very cheap. They're normally cams. But I have to say modern, just because the quality is always very consistent. You don't have like those weird weld lines and stuff like you do with the traditional hookahs. And to be honest, I like the aesthetic of a modern hookah quite a bit. Although the aesthetic of a traditional hookah is awesome too. But like being forced to pick one, I'm going to say modern.
Rob just said, yeah, the Starbuzz stuff, the Starbuzz US stuff is very reminiscent of the older generations, but with a modern flair. Prometheus and Regal both ride that line as well. This is the very last one right here that I'm going to be showing off. This is
a cafe.
It is. This is a KM. This is kind of like the generic model that they have. It's a 3-hose one. It is a very simple, nothing crazy, nothing unique really about it. It has tape on it because that's the only way I could get it to fit back in the day, and I just never took it off. Yeah, it's just very simple and nice. But like KMs obviously come in all shapes and sizes. You saw the black pear, you saw the Ferroni, and now you've seen the simple cafe as well. All simple stuff, obviously. So just some cool things in the mix for KM. When it comes to modern versus traditional for me, for a long time, I would say that traditional was my favorite. I would probably say that I love traditional with my whole heart. And nowadays, even though I definitely appreciate and still am very nostalgic towards traditional hookahs, I would say I definitely prefer a modern hookah nowadays. I prefer the draw of my Carbon 1. I prefer the draw of my Like Smoke hookah. I like a good modern hookah. I've been a very big fan of those for a long time. Yeah, I would definitely have to say that the draw and just kind of the build quality. I know that there's nothing wrong with KMs or Siri or the one that starts with Sheikah's hookahs. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with the build quality or the materials used. I just really like the overall aesthetics and the stuff that a modern hookah really brings to the table. So that's my personal opinion. I am going to leave the phone open for just another minute to see if anybody else wants to call in. The last thing that I want to ask Adrian that we started to talk about but didn't get it finished, is there any traditional hookahs that you do want? I know you answered it a little bit. I don't think I got the full answer from you, so I apologize if you did answer it. I want a Sheikah hookah. It's something that I've always wanted to get, and I never have. But is there something like the Killjoy? My God, those are the Captain Joys or whatever they're called. Those are stunning.
3 hookahs that I really want to pick up that are traditional. An electroplated dual legend from Sheikah, full setup, with the Oblivion Bowl and everything. I would really like to get my hands on a really nice, probably like a marbled Narwas hookah. And this is kind of a romantic thing because I watched a lot of Hookah Nukkah back in the day, and he always used the Omar Violin Oxidized Chiller, but I'd really like to pick one of those up if I could find one.
I apologize. I do remember you saying that now. My apologies. Mine would definitely just be a Sheikah of any kind for the most part. It's been such a long time since I got to smoke them at the expo. They're fantastic hookahs, obviously. They're absolutely beautiful. Greyjoy is what it's called. I called it a killjoy. Greyjoy is the Sheikah hookah that I want. But those things are so damn big, I don't know where I would keep it, and I don't know what I would do with it. But damn, I want to have that in my collection.
The Sheikah Halal 3.0, that big fucker with the the different, like the moon and the sun. I'm sure you've seen it. Yeah. Those are gorgeous too. They're a little bit expensive, and most people don't have a ton of them in stock, but that would be a really good one to get too.
I've never wanted the KM ones with the horse in the middle. The FIFA Cup are pretty cool. You know, the World Cup that they do every once in a while. The chillers are cool just out of like nostalgic reasons in a lot of ways. But yeah, man, just they're absolutely fantastic in a lot of ways. Oh, Kyle Smith just showed up as well. Sheikah Zizo is a bargain. Greyjoy is huge. It is humongous. Paul says that he wants a Sheikah for the win. Some Syrians as well. Just fantastic stuff. I think that is probably going to do it. It doesn't look like we have any other callers coming through the line. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this traditional hookah episode. Is there anything else that you want to end on, Adrian?
Nothing. I guess, Kyle, while you're here, I got your message, and I'll get back to you very quickly. I haven't had a chance to put my thoughts down in words for you. You know what I mean? No one else has any context.
I do. I know what you mean. I do.
I bet you do. But that's it for me.
Okay, awesome. If anybody is looking for you on the internet, where can they find you, Adrian?
If you want to find me on YouTube and you don't want to look at the AM Hookah podcast and you want to look at reviews, unboxings, and tutorials, go over to PipeDreamHookah, all one word, on YouTube. And then Twitter and Instagram, I am _PipeDream. And you can look at my Instagram posts if you want to. I'm not very active on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. And that's all the places you can find me. What about you, Matt?
Nafrael just showed up. Hello, Nafrael. Nice to see you as always. Thank you for chiming in for a second. You can find me on YouTube at Matt Desind. You can find me on Twitter at OnlyMattDesind. You can find me on Facebook at Matt Desind. You can also find the AM Hookah Podcast on Twitter, AM Hookah Podcast, on Instagram, AM Hookah Podcast. And you can find our group and our page, AM Hookah Podcast, as well. Make sure you stop by and say hello, because we have lots of fun stuff going, including some giveaways that are going to be coming to the page as well as the group. So make sure you're a part of those, because once we get that up and running, you're going to want to win yourself some of the cool stuff. Me and Adrian have been talking a little bit. We might be having a pretty big giveaway coming up, at least by episode 15. I'm thinking something big is in the works as of right now. So,
also,
yes,
shameless self-plug.
Yes.
I guess it's not really like a plug. It's more of like a attempt to get some community engagement. Over on my channel, I do something called the Fakhamah series. And I'm starting something called the Starbucks series, and there's a lot of flavors in both of those brands. I'm going to start doing polls on my Facebook page for PipeDreamHookah, as well as the AM Hookah Podcast, just on like 4 different options, like midway through the week, on what the next week or the week after that's flavor review is going to be for whether it's going to be the Starbucks or the Fakhamah series. So if you're interested in that, go check out those pages and vote on those polls.
Yes, please do. Until next time, guys, I don't got anything else. So please enjoy your hookah, enjoy your smoke, and keep on smoking. See you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.